Yeah. And what we say, New York City.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Battletech, back with another video. So today we got news out of Capcom that Resident Evil 7 is supposedly returning back to its survival horror roots. And I'm gonna say this right now, I believe it when I see it. Because ever since Resident Evil 4, not 5 and 6 like everybody like to blame 5 and 6 for all the problems, that shit started at 4. You heard me, it started at 4 on the fucking Gamecube with that lame ass Resident Evil. I mean, that shit came and just destroyed everything that they built up until that point. Resident Evil used to be this tense, cinematic horror game, man. It really had its moments. Like, you find your items, you know, you didn't fucking kill a monster, they fall on the ground and then they bubble up and turn into like a fucking brooch or some shit that you could turn around and sell to buy a fucking health kit or a rocket launcher. Come on, man. But everybody loves to romanticize Resident Evil 4 for some damn reason. The game was fucking horseshit, man. It was horseshit. I'll say it again for those who didn't hear it. Horseshit. That shit was terrible, dude. So now here they are talking about they're going back to the roots. And, you know, I read the guy's, Kawada's quotes. And he was going back and he was talking about fan feedback, blah, 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 competing with the Western market, you know, trying to stay relevant in the Western market that was saturated by shooters. So they decided to make Resident Evil more, you know, third-person cover-based shooter crap. Like, we don't have enough of that already. But they wanted to jump on the bandwagon, and that's what we started seeing. But what was funny to me was he was going on and on about, you know, how bad 5 and 6 was. And I'm like, okay, what about 4? 4 was fucking just as bad. Fucking action-packed, you running around and shit. It was like Gears of War Resident Evil skin or some shit, man. That shit was fucking terrible. I mean, I just have the hardest time getting over buying shit from some random merchant who just happens to be every goddamn where you are. You don't never see this dude sneak past you or nothing. He just appears. He's stranger. Get the fuck out of here, man. This motherfucker opened up his coat. He got fucking rocket launcher. He got fucking Uzis. He's got fucking automatic shotguns. No ammo. Never have ammo. Because you just gotta kill the fucking enemies and they'll bubble up and they'll either turn into ammo or they'll fucking turn into jewels or some shit. And that is just not Resident Evil. I'm used to the Resident Evil where it was like a movie with the fixed camera angles. Even when they went to Dreamcast with Code Veronica and they started with the dynamic cameras that kind of, you know, panned and followed you and stuff like that, that was still cool. They could have kept that format and just built off that, but they were so busy trying to do what everybody else was doing, and they gave us 4. And what happened? I think the same thing that happened with you know, any other like mature game on Nintendo. It sells and it does very well because Nintendo owners, you know, they fucking fiend for like adult content sometimes and shit. So when something like Resident Evil 4 came out exclusive, you goddamn right everybody went out and bought it, and it was just, you know, going nuts and shit. But somehow that shit got like damn near perfect scores and reviews and shit. I just did not see it. You know, you can call me a hater or a thumbs down a video or whatever you got to fucking do to make yourself sleep at night. But Resident Evil 4 in my eyes was fucking terrible, dude. It was terrible. So for them to come out and say that they were going to return to their roots, you know, I have to take that with a little bit of grain of salt, because I love the up until 2002. Resident Evil games were, they were the shit. And then after that, 4 came out, and then they started coming out with Survivor and all these other shooter games and shit like that. And what's that, Operation Raccoon City and all that goofy shit, man. And then it just continued and continued, and we got 4, 5, and 6. It's the only thing that they made improvements on was the visuals. Other than that, it was not a fucking Resident Evil game. It was just a generic over-the-shoulder third-person shooter. And that shit, it didn't do it for me. Now, Resident Evil Revelations, more recently, now those games, they still had, that same, Resident Evil 4 control style, but it felt more like a traditional Resident Evil, with its tense moments and things like that. I'm real interested to see how they do Resident Evil 7, if they actually take it back to its roots. If they do, I'm gonna be all on the fucking bandwagon. I'm gonna be waving the flags and all that shit, man, because I welcome those tense moments when your character's hurt and he's limping and he don't run as fast, and you got creatures and shit chasing you. You got like 3 shotgun shells and like an acid round, but your fucking launcher is way back in the safe room, so you're trying to get to the safe room to get your rocket launcher, well, not your rocket launcher, your grenade launcher, and you got some fucking health spray in your safe box, and you're trying to get to it. I mean, man, the puzzles and all of that shit, man, the atmosphere, the music. Please, Capcom, bring that shit back. Don't bring us no more of this bullshit action Gears of War Resident Evil. I don't want to play that shit. Sound off down below and let me know which ones were your favorite Resident Evil games. Even if they were Resident Evil 4, even though I say fuck Resident Evil 4, I still want to hear from you guys and know which ones you like. So on that note, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Remember,